Hello students, in this part we learn about the excretory system. Just as how we throw away the waste material from our homes, our body too has a system to remove the waste. This system is called as the excretory system. Each and every cell in our body utilizes the nutrients and release the waste. These wastes formed by the cells have to be excreted out, and this waste is excreted out as urine through a process called as excretion. And the chief organ involved here is the kidney. Your kidney does not only play a role in excretion, it also has a vital role in osmoregulation. Excretion means the removal of the waste, and osmoregulation means the water balance. We will be learning about osmoregulation in the later part of this lecture. First, we will talk about excretion. So, the waste product that is released out of the body can be nitrogenous waste, can be carbon dioxide, water, excess salt, vitamins, and bile pigments. But here we are going to talk about the nitrogenous waste only. So, if the nitrogenous waste is formed in the body, there must be some source of nitrogen. So first we are going to discuss how this nitrogenous waste is formed. What is the source of nitrogen? The first source is the external, that is your food. The food that you eat, the food that is rich in nitrogen leads to formation of the nitrogenous waste which cannot be utilized by the body. Second is internal, that is your body protein or breakdown of nucleic acid also leads to formation of nitrogenous waste. So the nitrogenous waste formed in the body can be of three different types or categories. The first one is ammonia, then you have urea, and the third one is uric acid. So these three wastes, they are in decreasing levels of their toxicity. Highly toxic is ammonia, a little less is urea, and a little less is uric acid. So if something is highly toxic, like if you are talking about ammonia, can we store any highly toxic substance in our body for a longer duration of time? No, we cannot store it. So we need large amount of water to remove the ammonia from the body. So can we afford to lose that much of water from our body? Certainly not. So ammonia is released as a waste product in the aquatic animals or aquatic organisms, those who can afford to lose large amount of water. So the moment ammonia is formed in the body, these organisms release the ammonia outside the body with the help of water. The second category is urea. Urea is secreted or excreted as a waste product by all the terrestrial organisms with a little requirement of water. Ammonia is converted into urea by consumption of energy. So the conversion of ammonia to urea requires energy, right? So since urea is relatively lesser toxic as compared to ammonia, so it can be stored in our body. The third category is uric acid. The aerial organisms, those who cannot lose water, in those organisms, urea again is converted into uric acid by energy. Right? So, most toxic ammonia in the aquatic organisms, then little less is urea in all the terrestrial organisms, lesser, and uric acid is even less toxic than urea. So, and is released in the aerial organisms. On the basis of the types of the nitrogenous waste, there are three categories of organisms: ammonotelic organisms, ureotelic organisms, and uricotelic organisms. The organisms who are going to secrete their waste product as ammonia, they are called as ammonotelic organism, and the process is called as ammonotelism. The second, the organism who excrete out urea, they are called as ureotelic organisms, and the process is called as ureotelism. Third one, the organisms who excrete out uric acid, they are called as uricotelic organisms, and the process is called as uricotelism. In this chapter we will be learning about only ureotelism. Since we are learning about excretion in human beings. So ureotelism, as we have all learned, is the removal of urea from our body. It is relatively less toxic as compared to ammonia, and since it is less toxic, it can be stored for some time. 1 gram of urea, the elimination of 1 gram of urea requires 50 ml of water. And the synthesis of urea takes place in the liver, and the formation of urea in the liver, this is called as a urea cycle. So urea is formed in your liver, right? So all the nutrients, from where do they come from? They come from your stomach and they come from your small intestine into the liver. In the liver, urea cycle takes place. So the largest concentration of urea, if we see this diagram, the largest concentration of urea will be in the hepatic vein. The urea from the hepatic vein through inferior vena cava goes to your heart. Then it comes into the circulation. Then it again goes back to the kidney. And over here, it gets excreted out as urine. Right? In the next part, we'll be learning about the human excretory system.